album by King Krule, Space Heavy, is a UK-based skinny ginger twink of a man with a very deep voice and a very Cockney accent. Really interesting discography. I remember I worked at a coffee shop for a while and I had a coworker who was obsessed with the Ooze. I hated that album. I did not like that album at all. I thought it was boring. I thought it was like just super spacious. The production was thin. And then the next album I kind of liked, and then I went back and listened to the Ooze a couple more times, and I started to really like kind of get it. I don't know, but Space Heavy, this one immediately got me. I immediately was just sucked in by this because, well, I feel like the instrumentation is a lot more lush. Um, I feel like the lyrics are sort of heartbreaking. And the whole like conceit of the album is like explaining a relationship that is going sour and getting worse and worse and worse, and eventually it's over, right? And the way that he describes it and the way that he sings about it is like it's almost hard to listen to, but I can really feel like his emotion. Um, the album it's very moody, and it's weird because like his vocals seem like so almost bored and like laid back, but every once in a while, like in the song Pink Shell, Our Vacuum, which is my favorite track on the album, and Space Heavy, he will just like explode with this like screaming, and it's something that you don't expect, and it's something he did on the Ooze as well, but I feel like it's done a lot better on this album because you're sort of like in this hole of like melancholy, and then every once in a while the instruments will swell, the guitars will start going crazy, we'll get some saxophone, and he'll just be screaming at the top of his lungs, and it's like this is clearly somebody who's in pain. I hate to see that for him, right? But it's I can feel his emotions. And I mean, beyond that, I feel like the instrumentation is a lot more interesting. I really like Flimsier. The first track on the album feels a lot like a like early Modest Mouse song, and like a Long Drive kind of era. It kind of reminded me of Dramamine almost. Hamburger Phobia had some like a really, really like funky beat. I don't know. It also just felt very chaotic and dissonant. Um, but there's definitely still like a sonic through line in it, which I feel like in the Ooze there was just like spaces of nothing, and they just felt boring.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you think?
Well, my history with King Krule is it seems very similar to yours.
uh
I feel like that too. It can be kind of a little spacious and or spacey.
mhm.
I don't think I Ooze is the one that I thought that was the last one with like the rocket, or is that
No, there was okay.
maybe I'm misinformed
I think
here.
he had an EP or
But
something.
yeah.
It was Man Alive, came out in 2020.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't even know what that is, but but anyway, because I remember that album was huge and everyone was talking about it. The Ooze at least, but I don't know. I didn't really get it. I mean, my roommate Reed is a big King Krule fan, so I hear King Krule a lot.
Okay.
And I feel like that might be like kind of what's similar to you, where you're just like, just King Krule out,
Hmm.
But just because it could be a little spacey and moody. It's very moody, like the way he sings.
Hmm.
It's like a guy going through a lot of pain. It's a very you just feel that pain he's going through, which is really cool, actually. Um, but anyway, but I think yeah, what you're saying about the instrumentation, I think that's kind of what I would like to see a lot more of. Just in a different way, I guess. But anyway, in this new album, yeah, this album, I felt like I was hearing that, and I was like, you know what? I was like making breakfast this morning. I was like, I like this one a lot more than I thought I was going. I was like this, yeah, like the guitar tones and like the moody scape of it all is pretty cool. Um, so I was pretty pleasantly surprised by how much I was liking it. So
Were there any like specific lyrics that stood out to you?
Not I'm so bad at picking up on lyrics. Like I'll be honest, I don't. I know what you mean about like his like screams. When he just goes
Uh-huh.
like, he just
Uh-huh.
pulls that out every now and then, and you're like, yeah, feel that, bro. So I didn't pick up at any of like the themes or
Mm.
like I guess you said it was about a breakup or something.
Yeah, I mean, the song "Our Vacuum" is like it's not actually about like a vacuum cleaner. It's about the vacuum of space. And it's there's this lyric. It's so empty, this space. It weighs heavy on my plate, and in between us is a grave in a field far away. It's our vacuum, 4 times.
Ooh.
And it's like there's this like infinite distance in between these two people
Uh,
emotionally and spiritually and socially, but it seems like they're still like physically together, but it's like the distance in between them is like the vacuum of space in between two stars.
uh,
And I
that's cool.
he says that he
Pretty
like
cool.
sings it's our vacuum, and then he starts screaming it. And it's like this is a man who is like distraught, and it's almost like he's screaming into that void, you know and it feels like sort of a helpless situation for him.
Yeah.
And I don't know, he's like I didn't really think I never really felt like any of the lyrics on the Ooze or Man Alive really stuck out to me, but this one was a lot more poignant. um
Nice.
I feel like it's a little bit too long though.
It's
um
like 45 minutes.
there's a couple of songs that didn't feel like super necessary.
Yeah, I get
um I feel like Flimsy was just sort of okay. Flimsier, the title track, was great.
that. Okay.
Seaforth, which is
D4th was
the
my favorite. I thought you didn't like that one.
no, it's great. It's the single
Yeah.
from the album. It's an
Oh,
awesome
okay. That
song.
explains why I like it.
But the following song, "That Is My Life, That Is Yours," it's sort of like the vocal melody is sort of the same as the previous song, like
Hmm.
Seaforth and "That Is My Life, That Is Yours." Just kind of sound the same. And I feel like the following song didn't really need to happen.
Hmm.
Um, and it's also just sort of empty. There's not a whole lot going on. What did you think about Seagirl?
Seagirl.
That was the one with
Yeah, who
the
is that?
her name's Ravita. I don't know who she is,
Did
but I
she
feel
sing
like
on it? I don't really remember.
what's that?
Did she sing on it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
She
I don't
is
really
like
remember
the
that
primary
existence.
vocalist, and then they have a
Okay.
duet sort of later back on the song.
Oh, okay. I don't really remember
Oh.
that. Sorry.
No, it's
I
good.
remember hearing a girl sing, but I don't know.
I think he does a surprisingly like good job with a duet, which is weird because his vocals just seem so, I don't know, almost detached and bored. And I feel like she is sort of got like an ethereal vocal style, and they kind of clash a little bit, but they actually work really well together.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna have to re-listen to that. Yeah, I feel like that would be a nice change of pace in in his music, just to have a little bit more, just like a surprise like that, where it's like,
Hmm.
oh, like this is happening,
Yeah.
changes up the sound a little bit. Um, but no, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised how much I like this for sure.
Mm.
I don't think I was going in thinking, oh, I'm gonna hate this, but like, because I've listened to like King Krule, and like been like, yeah, this is great. Like, have you listened to the Live on the Moon King
Hmm.
Krule album? That
Yeah.
album's really cool. I like that one a lot. That's probably my favorite. But you know, I think yeah, I was pleasantly surprised how much I
Cool.
like it. So
If you've ever watched an interview with him, I think can't remember if it was a Nardwar interview or just somebody else in, a record shop or whatever, but he's like he almost doesn't seem like he's like fully there. I don't know.
yeah.
He's not when he speaks, he's not the most articulate person in the world.
Interesting.
He's just, kind of a British man. It's like, but when he sings, like he really puts his heart into it, I think.
Hell yeah, he definitely does. I've actually seen him live. I saw him at Coachella a couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty epic. You know, he always got the saxophone player guy.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about the sax on the
Oh yeah,
album.
like the sax is pretty sick actually.
I feel like it's a little bit underused on this album. I think there's only like two, three or four songs on the album that have it that
Okay.
really feature it.
Yeah.
But when it's there, it's definitely noticeable and it adds a lot of texture to the songs.
Yeah, I do like that.
Do you know how old he is?
I think he's like my age. I mean,
Yeah, he's 28. He's
yeah,
pushing
because
30
I
like
remember
us.
when I was in college, I saw like a what's in my bag amoeba video where he's
Yeah.
like 18 or like 19. He's like my age then. And I
Uh
just in my mind I think he's really young, but he's
he
actually
looks really young. He just looks
yeah.
like, he's like a skinny ginger kid. He looks like
Yeah,
he's
yeah, I know.
18
He's
years
like I was
old.
like, damn, he's actually not that young. Interesting. Hell yeah.
Um, I almost got to see him in Chicago. I was going to go up with that same coworker at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Um, but COVID kind of got in the way. It was a mess, and I
Yeah.
mean, he didn't cancel the show, but we were gonna drive up and see it, but it was too much of a hassle.
Yeah, I get that. I heard my friends going see him in Chicago once, and
Mhm.
they said like it was like a ton of really big dudes, you know, like that
What?
was like yeah, which I could see that.
Was
Like
it at Aragon?
I don't know,
I think he was supposed to play at
maybe
Aragon,
it
if I
was
remember right. Yeah, so it was probably that
big
show.
venue, but no, it was. But someone told me it was just like you know they were there and they were just felt very small compared to everybody else. You ever go to like a show like that, like a you know if you ever go to like a show like a metal like
Yeah, I've
Metallica
been to metal
show or
shows where I
something.
like I'm not a
Yeah,
short
you know,
guy.
it's like that kind of vibe, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I love it. Emotional big men, you know.
Yeah. No, they're in touch with their feelings.
Hell yeah. Of course they are. Hell yeah. All right, awesome. Do you have a score for it?
Yeah, I really like this album. It's an 8 for me.
Nice.
Um I yeah, I think the ooze is maybe like a 6, and this one is significantly better. And I'm
Nice.
looking forward to see what he does in the future because I think I think he's going places. I like the trajectory that he's going in.